everybody. Welcome. My name is Moey, also known as the host with the most. And today we're talking about post-Covid-19. We're talking about the lockdown, what is happening in our space. I've got a special guest on the show today, a lovely friend of mine. She's an absolute phenomenal sexy saxophonist, she's one of those ladies that play the sax, but she's just an activist for artists. She's got an amazing company, but I'll let her talk about what her company does and what it's all about. But really, someone that's phenomenal. We're talking about local content. We're talking about the entertainment industry. We're talking about the future of artists in South Africa. What are we going to do, amidst the new age, technology advancements. We're talking about digital platforms. What's going to happen with creatives? What happens with creatives? Welcome to the show, Miss Lesley Jennings.
Hey, Moey. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me today. And I'm very excited to be speaking on this topic. I'm Lesley Jennings, founder of GigCulture. We're an events management business based in Bloemfontein. Originally, I'm from Lady Brand. So GigCulture is an events management company, but we specialize, we're a turnkey solution, if I can put it that way. So we offer event management support services to what we call our gig creators.
So I love your company. I mean, look, you're one of my service providers, in my professional space. And I absolutely love how you always just make my crazy concepts come to life. Okay, so let's talk about the interesting topic today. The future of entertainment, in South Africa, post-lockdown, post-corona. How? I was telling you the other day, I saw this crazy video on Instagram where you've got like a live DJ set with like an awesome stage on a trestles and lights and everything. And his audience is basically patrons that are in their cars, queued, it's literally like numbered A, B, C, D, and they're like queued behind each other and they're like busy hooting to the beat of the DJ. And like, is that how we're going to do festivals now? Like, what?
Absolutely not.
I hope not. Yeah, that will be completely weird.
I think, some people are coming up with very, very cool concepts. I'd actually like to bring up sort of now Live Nation, their collaboration with VR, which happened post this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Of virtual reality concerts. And I was going through some of the reviews, and interesting thing, some people found it just as fulfilling, exciting, and engaging whatever, have your VR goggles on, as it would be attending a live concert. So I mean, that for me is more the direction we should be going to, is how do we leverage the available technology that can accommodate the entertainment space. One of the things that the very first 2 weeks of lockdown, we saw a lot of artists and art collectives coming together and doing live performances, and it was really feel good, to see everybody and the enthusiasm and whatever. And maybe I was in a bit of a negative space, but the first time I saw a live event on Facebook, I was just like, how is this person making money?
It's basically free. Like if you've got internet, you can just go on. If you're a Facebook user, you'll go on, and then, for Mark Zuckerberg, he doesn't care. That's fantastic. It's content for him. You are basically creating viewership for him and people to be longer on his platform. He doesn't care. How are you making your money as an artist? Yeah.
Precisely. And I mean, prior to the pandemic, the entertainment industry as a whole was challenged in terms of revenue and digitization, which is soon going to become a word, by the way.
What does it mean? School me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
it's creative.
Looking at
digitization,
such as Spotify, YouTube, I found it really, really interesting on the Facebook Creator Studio, is that they give you all these tips on the content that you should be putting out in order to get paid.
Monetizing now on social platforms is actually more difficult than it was before, is what I picked up.
Exactly. And that brings us to that whole other conversation, because now when we got into week 3 of lockdown, everybody started getting upset because now Hunters is sponsoring the famous DJs to do their Friday night thing, and Standard Bank is sponsoring the famous jazz guys to do their Saturday night thing. And why is nobody taking into consideration that these people have already made it? We see them enough on TV. We also want access to that pie. There's a whole bigger conversation around influence, engagement, and brand affinity as well. But you need to speak something out. The minute you see an opportunity to monetize an effort, you need to stick to it, because anything in the digital space requires time. And that time is you sowing your seeds for the next 6 months, only to harvest 2 years from now. And if you only started now during lockdown, you're going to see the reward later if you stick it through. And that's what I'm saying. We saw digitization and disruption long before the pandemic, and some people were ready, others weren't. And sadly, most musicians and most creatives weren't ready. So for you to now flock to the digital space, you can't just jump onto a platform and expect to make money right now. What is your value if your viewers are donating the whole time? Just that narrative, like I would never say support, if I'm selling something, I'm not going to post my product and say, support me by buying a ticket or support me by buying apparel. No, I've got buy it. Exactly.
Buy, purchase, pay, So I was actually going to talk about that, because I actually heard that donate feature is helping somewhat, but I mean, I don't know who it's helping. And it's obviously, for me, I think it's more of the bigger branded artists are the ones that are getting their donations, because they're actually showing what actively they're doing for society. So their donations are not for their own personal gain. They are there to help the community. So, if you leverage it like that, then you'll get donations. But I mean, we need guarantee that you're going to use that money to feed people.
It's a whole ungoverned space, with your payment is secure, but are you going to get a report on how your donation was spent? And should we be demanding that information? For me,
I think you should.
But for me, it's just a very unsafe space right now. And the narrative it's creating around the arts and culture industry, everybody's sort of looking at arts and culture like, oh, shame. It's our responsibility to show our value. Anybody that's putting content out there that doesn't think to use a professional service, it's concerning. It is very concerning. How have we not made ourselves valuable enough that the first thing that comes to mind is I need to book a professional actor to convey this message to the rest of South Africa. And that's the change in mindset that we need to make. And then also how the fourth industrial revolution is going to play in our favor, because now there's these calls for applications for IR projects, and streaming a concert is not leveraging fourth industrial revolution or technology. Like I'm saying, virtual concerts and subscription models, pay-per-view.
Let's hear about that.
There's one.
Let's hear about that.
Africa. They're with the Media Mill. They're called Urban Live, and they recently recorded. I can't remember the band now. They recently recorded a band, and what they do is you can sign into the concert. You pay to watch the concert, and thereafter, if you want to watch that content again, you have to pay again.
It would be interesting to see their stats, to see how many people actually go and rewatch their concert. That's crazy.
Web Tickets is doing really great, and so is Quicket with comedy shows and some other bigger name artists. But that is the route that you should be going. You don't need to have a crowded room of people to enjoy your art, and they are willing to pay. So I would strongly recommend that people stay off the live route. The other thing, the other conversation I was having with an artist who I agreed to watch their live stream is the fact that, I'm probably going to spend a gig of data, which costs me 150 Rand. And then whatever I would have paid for that concert, now I've got to pay for that as well. So, take into consideration when you're marketing your content, not to concentrate it to your immediate network. The same way that I can physically get Moey into a room to attend my event, digital is different. So with the right use of digital marketing, such as your hashtags, the keywords that you use, the platforms on which you publish, you can definitely reach a global audience. And surprise, surprise, there are people in the States that have money, and due to the exchange rate, that 50 Rand that you're charging is nothing to them.
That's the reality. The reality is, once you put something online, you start creating a digital footprint that is there for anybody to really get access to. So do not go free. Try and monetize that little opportunity that you have. Try and monetize it. The other day I saw IG Live of AKA, who's launching today, apparently. I think today. I'm not sure what time. But today, Friday, what's the day today? Friday, the 8th of May, he's dropping AKA TV, I think is what he calls it. And people have to subscribe. Whew. So, I don't know. But in my personal view, it's like a common theme with South Africans. Like, we're very reluctant to pay for that subscription, especially for local content.
And I might be mistaken, but I read somewhere that Netflix subscriptions in South Africa went up by 500% during the lockdown. Now that
I believe
exactly what you said. Is we all knew that Netflix was there, but the fact that you had to put your card information into a browser and see your money go somewhere, this is also another thing of understanding, and why market research is so important. Is if we look at e-commerce in South Africa, it's not that big. It's grown a lot. It's grown a lot now because we've been forced to.
Because like you're saying, to try and run a solo platform on your own, especially a website where it has to do with payments and money and card transactions, people are very skeptical about that. But I discovered another app in South Africa. I'm not going to advertise them again. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go check out my last post on trends. My last video on trends actually speaks about this specific company in South Africa. It's a bank that has created a software solution for your online business. It's literally created an e-commerce solution for SMMEs, big companies, whoever. To wrap it up, we are basically saying, if you are a creative, and when I say creative, I'm talking about everyone that basically has a talent, a skill, whether it's playing an instrument, singing a chord, DJing, whatever, or being someone that has content to share about something that's like very niche and strategic and, whatever that sits in the creative space. Try not to give it out for free, especially right now. Try and monetize, go and make reference of these tips and conversations that we're having. We're talking about 4IR, we're talking about digitization, we're talking about monetization. These are all terms that you can literally go and Google, and then Google will send you to different websites where you can actually learn the concepts. But educate yourself. As an artist, it's important for you to kind of make your own food and put food on the table for yourself, and make the most out of the lockdown. Make the most out of Corona. Don't allow Corona to take from you, but be the one that actually, takes an opportunity and makes something out of Corona. And that's just about it. Thank you so much, Lesley, for joining. Thank you for sharing. I just absolutely love every single thing that you said. I think it just resonated with me. I also learned a few things. Digitization, I was like, that's going to be like my new thing. I'm just going to be digitizationing everywhere. So thank you very much for your time during the COVID, and thank you for honoring, the regulations, doing it remotely. Although I would have loved to have you next to me and having maybe like a cocktail or something nice. But that's it. Again, my name is Moey Mohapi, also known as the host with the most. See you guys in my next video. Peace!